So, Iron Man. Now, one of the most iconic superhero thanks to the performance of RDJ. But it wasn't always like this. Before the release of Iron Man in 2008, Iron Man wasn't that popular. Now, I don't mean that he's like a C-list superhero that no one knows about. What I'm saying is that Iron Man, back in the day, prior to the movie, isn't a household name like Spider-Man, Batman, or Superman did. Like, for example, if you ask who someone from like early 2008 before the movie release, I bet if you ask who Iron Man was, they most likely don't know who he is unless they read comics. Because even though Iron Man was maybe popular in the comics, he's just not on the same level as Batman, Spider-Man, or Superman did. Because if you ask who those guys are to like anyone, they will instantly know who they are, and if you somehow don't, then I am terribly sorry for how you were treated as a kid by your parents, probably strict Asian parents. But enough about that, let's now talk about why Iron Man, played by RDJ, cannot be replaced by any other actor, just like how Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime or Anthony Starr as Homelander. And so that's why I have 3 key points that I'm going to be sharing to all of you on why RDJ cannot be replaced by any other actor as Iron Man. So first and foremost, and probably the most obvious one, his performance.
What?
Now, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance brings charisma, wit, and vulnerability to the character. He has nailed those 3 so well that in each movie, behind every banter that he makes, you can sense that he is compensating for his bad childhood of being neglected by his father. And I think that's why throughout the films and pretty much his life, we see him, doing some reckless things, being loud, and disregard everyone around him, just like what he did to Rhodey in the first Iron Man.
3 hours. For 3 hours, you got me standing.
Waiting on you now. Let's go. Come on. Wheels up!
We actually see more of his daddy issues in Iron Man 2.
He was cold. He was calculating. He never told me he loved me. He never even told me he liked me. We're talking about a guy whose happiest day was when he shipped me off to boarding school.
And I feel like the whole MCU is just a character arc for Iron Man, cause in the end of Iron Man 1, he is far from being a hero that he is in Avengers Endgame. In the beginning of Iron Man 1, he was a narcissistic, alcoholic, playboy billionaire, don't forget about the billionaire, and at the end of the movie, he is a narcissistic billionaire. It is not until in the end of the first Avengers movie where he learns humility and sacrifice. Like how he sacrificed himself to bring a nuke to outer space where his suit doesn't work to blow up the Chitauri mothership, where he could possibly die. But despite knowing all that, he still willingly makes the sacrifice play and saves the day. And if it weren't for the Hulk saving him, he probably would have gone splat all over the street of New York. And after Hulk saved him, he may look fine, but later in Iron Man 3, we discover that he actually suffered from PTSD, where he continuously built new Iron Man suits, 42 of them by the way.
What is that, like Mark 15?
Yeah. Something like that.
To protect the people he loves. And this is where he starts to learn humility, cause at the end of the movie, he blows up all of his suit and decides to quit being Iron Man, so that he can be with Pepper. Until Age of Ultron rolls up and ruins it. Though I do understand why Marvel decides to do so, because if there's Iron Man in the movie, it's almost a guaranteed to be a success.
Yummers.
Which now brings me to my second point, the looks.
Is this for head of security? What?
Look, you have iconic character like Batman or Spider-Man being played, by multiple actors like Christian Bale and Ben Affleck for Batman, or Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland for Spider-Man. But none of them comes close to how Robert Downey Jr. just owns the role of Iron Man. Like for example, in Christopher Nolan's newest movie, Oppenheimer, Robert Downey Jr. plays Louis Strauss. And I bet the first thing that comes to your mind when you were watching the movie, when Louis Strauss comes in, was either, hey, that's Iron Man, or Mr. Stark. Cause for example, with like Spider-Man, if Tobey Maguire comes to the screen, you would think, oh, that's the old Spider-Man. Or if Andrew Garfield comes to the screen, you would think, oh, that's Spider-Man where he fought that blue guy. Or even when Tom Holland comes to the screen, you would think, oh, that's the new Spider-Man, or something like that. Like, you just don't say, oh, he's Spider-Man, like you do with Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Like, can you imagine any other actor playing as Iron Man? I can't think any. But fun fact, Tom Cruise was originally the first pick for the role, and Marvel even offered him a $25 million deal, but he rejected it, saying that he just doesn't like comic book movies. And that's probably one of the greatest rejection to have ever happened in comic book movie history, because without this rejection from Tom Cruise, we would not have had this masterpiece of a performance from Robert Downey Jr. and what brings Iron Man to the same level now as Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. Now, my last and probably the most important point is legacy. Now, what I mean by legacy is that Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. No one can replace him. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be any Iron Man movies in the future. What I'm saying is that if you're gonna make another Iron Man movie, you just have to make him separate from the MCU, because Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man story ends in Avengers Endgame, where his hero's journey is completed. He now not only has saved Earth, but the entire universe itself at the cost of his life. And bringing its journey full circle from a narcissistic, alcoholic, playboy billionaire to the hero who has saved the entire universe. Now, also, another thing I want to say is that I know that in the recent Black Panther 2 movie, I know that there's like the successor to Iron Man. I'm pretty sure she's called Iron Heart, but she just comes out of nowhere. Like, we don't even know she existed before, well, Black Panther 2. Now, no hating as the actor playing her, but in my opinion, the little kid from Iron Man 3 and the one who attended Tony's funeral, by the way, Harley Keener, should have been the one who took up the mantle as Hokage. Cause, what is it, Hokage? I mean, Iron Man. Because first of all, he was the one who helped Tony out in Iron Man 3 by providing him shelter, and he also gave Tony the idea to use retro-reflective panel for stealth mode, which then Tony applies to the plane that was gonna ship the Avengers stuff away with. And also, Tony helped him out too in the end of the movie by renovating his garage. And also, one last thing before we end the video, and this is just my personal opinion, feel free to agree or disagree with me. I feel like a shared and interconnected universe now is kind of becoming bland and limits good storytelling with actual stakes. Because the stake of, oh, the world is gonna end, has been used too many times that now pretty much the audience is brain dead on what the world is gonna end means. And that is it for the video. I hope you find it entertaining. And yeah, I know it's a little short, but whatever. And so, as always, thanks for watching and see ya.